Hello and welcome to this video on how to create a Turnitin Dropbox for your Moodle unit. Once you've logged into Moodle, navigate to the unit site that you wish to use and then turn editing on within that particular unit. You'll need to select Add an Activity or Resource, and from the menu choose Turnitin Assignment. Select Add, and then follow the process to complete the setup. So first you must give the Turnitin assignment a name. Within the summary you can add the information of what you're expecting the student to submit. So this might be an outline of the essay or subject matter that they're meant to be submitting. The submission type box by default is allow any submission type. There are three options: any submission type, file upload or text submission. If you select File Upload, they are only allowed to upload a file, be it a PDF or Word document, to Turnitin. If it's text submission, the student will have to type directly into the internet window to complete their upload. You can choose for the student to submit a different number of parts. There can be up to 5 parts as an option, and each part could be for a different area, maybe a draft submission, maybe certain sections, or maybe they are completely unrelated documents to each other. An appendix, for instance, may be a collection of files that you need them to submit. In this instance, I'm going to choose to have 2 parts for them to upload with a site limit of 40 megabytes. So you can downsize that, you can't increase that limit though. I've selected anonymous marking by default to be yes, and I'm going to allow them to submit any file type. So it could be, like I say, a PDF, a Word document. They can submit PowerPoints and Excel documents to go through the originality check as well. We are going to default the originality reports to students. So the students can get their originality, or what some people call plagiarism checks, and it will automatically refresh those as well. You can choose to manually do these if you wish. However, it's easier just to let the system update and refresh all of its normal part of the process. Grade is by default hidden, but you can open it up and choose to change it to maybe a scale rather than doing it out of 100. There is the grade category option. Now, if it's just a singular assignment, it would not need a grade category. However, if it's going to be part of maybe 3 or 4 other assignments, like a forum board and a workshop, you could categorize them in the gradebook. You're now able to change the names of the assignment parts. So this is the draft submission, and I'm going to set the dates. The first one is the start date. When can the students start submitting their work? The due date. When is it due to be late? And then you have the post date. When is it due to be posted back or released to the students? So you'd go through and select your dates from the drop-down list depending on when the student needs to submit their work, and select the time that you're allowing them to do it from. So the 23rd of October at midnight, the student can start submitting their work. The post date is normally 20 working days for campus-based and 25 working days for distance learning students from the due date. There may be cases where this is not exactly correct, but please do just make sure you know that it needs to be about 20 working days after the due date for the post date. Unfortunately, without the calendar view, you can't do this directly in Turnitin. You'd have to work that out manually and then just choose from the drop-down lists the different dates that you'd require. I'm going to set my assignment part up too. So this is the final submission, and again I'd need to change the dates to match the actual final submission. If you're creating a Dropbox or a part of a Dropbox that has a year change, as you'll notice here, if I was to leave it as the 12th of January but 2015, which is what it defaults to, it wouldn't create the part correctly for me. It would default back to the October dates that it started with. Please be aware that you need to make sure that you have the 2015 and then 2016 if it rolls into the following year. If you allow submissions after the due date, this effectively allows late submissions into the same area as your kind of on-time submissions. Some people handle this in a different way. Report generation speed. Reports are generated immediately and resubmissions are not allowed, or they're generated immediately and they are allowed up until the due date, or they're generated on the due date. The default is for them to be done immediately, and if resubmissions are allowed until the due date, bear in mind that a second submission will take up to 24 hours to come through. Now, storing a student paper, there's no repository and standard repository. If you have it to no repository, this would be good for an originality or plagiarism checkbox, but the standard repository will then store a copy of that paper in the Turnitin repository, allowing it to be checked for other universities, other institutions, and other people checking. However, if a student submits to a draft box which has a standard repository attached to it, and then does it to their actual submission area, this will cause a problem and show a high percentage score. The next section down will check against student papers, the internet and journals and publications, and allow you to exclude things like the bibliography and quoted material, and also sort of set small match percentages that you want to exclude. The grade mark option allows you to load the rubric manager from here. However, we won't be looking at this in this particular video demo, and also enables the grammar checking if you wish from Turnitin itself. Once you're happy with everything, then you're able to click Save and Display to take you into the Turnitin box. Once you are within the submission inbox, you'll see the tabs for draft and final submission, and a pencil icon next to both the title, start, due and post dates, allowing you to edit those dates should you have got them wrong in the initial setup phase. You'll see below the list of students who has and hasn't submitted, and then once you're finished, you're able to return back to your Moodle unit. Thank you very much for watching this particular video.